the taste of the charcoal. After things are burnt into charcoal, they're bitter, right? But after you burn something, it's very dry, of course. So it can also dry darkness. And another very special function is to preserve yin. And preserving yin has special meaning here. It doesn't really mean this herb can tonify yin or nourish yin. It means by clearing dark heat or putting fire, it can prevent yin fluid from being further damaged. You see? That's bitter taste. Then we have the sour taste. Sour taste is a taste related to the liver or wound. So on one hand, it can nourish the liver yin. On the other hand, sour astringe. And astringent taste is a taste that can stop excessive discharge or secretion when you have too much sweating, leukorrhea, and so on. We use astringent herbs or sour taste herbs. Astringent is similar to sour taste in function. The difference is what? Your sour taste can be the real taste, like a fruit can be very sour. So mostly if it's from plants with a sour taste, we say, oh, it's sour. But if it's from mineral, it doesn't have that sour taste, but it's dry, it's astringent. Then we just say it's astringent. That's a general difference. And then we mentioned the sweet taste. Sweet belongs to earth. In fact, elements, earth function to nourish everything, right? So first of all, tonic herbs are mostly sweet because sweet taste can nourish. The second, sweet is also the taste of the earth, the spleen stomach. So this herb can strengthen the spleen stomach. And the third is that sweet taste can also reduce the drastic or sharp function of some herbs. When they are used together with strong herbs, the function actually will be a little bit lighter or milder in strength. Another one is that it can also reduce the relieve poisoning. When we have food poisoning and so on, in Chinese medicine we used to use sweet herbs to do that. And this can also be the reason it can reduce toxicity of something, right? And the last one is that it reduces emergency. That actually, you relieve emergency, it means two things. Number one, when things move fast, we call that emergency, right? And it can help slow down that. Another one, when we have convulsion spasm, these kind of things, it's also a kind of emergency. Or in Chinese, we call that qi, like 乱急, convulsion spasm. So these are all what sweet herb can do. And salty herb, on one hand, it goes to the kidney. On the other hand, salty herb can go downward. Some of them may promote bowel movement. But salty is a taste of water. Water in nature is characterized by storage, hardness, firmness. You see? That's why salty taste can soften hardness and dissipate nodules. These are all the fine tastes. Of course, we have a blunt taste. Blunt taste is a taste affiliated to earth. And in function, blunt taste can induce diuresis. That's about the taste. As for the meridian tropism, it just means the specific selective effect of herb on some parts of the body, meridian or organs. You see? But this is the summary of the function. So actually, you don't have to memorize the meridian tropism. Lifting, lowering, sinking, floating. This pretty much means which direction the herb will go after they enter the body. Then they can play different functions. For example, if a herb is very heavy, it treats like when you're rising. That means the herb can go downward or lowering, right? The difference between lowering and floating is more like when something should go downward, but now it goes upward too much, or when something goes upward too much, you need to lower that, you see? But thinking can be more like just help things move downward. It may not go upward right now, but it can block here. You want to train that. And for the toxicity, traditionally we say any herb can be toxic. We believe if a herb is being used in the right way or for the right condition, it's always good. But if you use that wrong, any herb can cause damage to the body, so they can be toxic. That's a Chinese medicine here. In modern terms, toxicity really means a herb, a plant, an ingredients may have unexpected or unwanted damage to the body, right? And then we mentioned the dosage. The regular dosage, we say like the dosage we mentioned here. Number one, it means the dosage in decoction of a herb in decoction for adults for 1 day's use. You see? Another one is the dosage based on the percentage of the ratios of different herbs. So we just understand the meaning of that. Of course, the dosage may change depending on why you give this patient 9 grams, you give that patient 12. It's determined by many things. Number one, like the strength of the herb. If it's super strong, you don't have to use a lot, right? Maybe 1 gram is enough to kill someone, some poisonous stuff, right? Number two is more the condition itself, how severe the condition is, how much the pathogen is in that place. If you have 10 grams of pathogen, you need so much of this herb. But if you only carry 1 kilograms pathogen, you just need a little bit, right? So it's easy to understand. But age is a very important factor here, generally. We mentioned that if it's a child below 2 years old, 1/4 of the regular dosage. If it's from 2 to 5, 1/3. If it's 5 to 12, half. After above 12, full dosage. And the age is also related to, like, you got to consider the change of the body in the age. We have more deficiency. Tonics can be used more, right? And the herbs that attack pathogen should be used less, right? Generally speaking. So that's another big part. And then we mentioned in pregnancy, we need to understand the 2 basic principles. One is that we don't want to cause miscarriage. That means any herb that can move stuff too much or move down a lot, or herbs that are very, very like pungent and hot, that help Yang Qi move. This should be either forbidden or used carefully, depending on the strength of the pathogen. The herbs, actually. Some herbs, you don't want to touch that at all. We call this the herbs forbidden to use in pregnancy. Some herbs are not so strong. You can use that, but you need to be careful, right? And another principle is what? don't cause damage to the fetus. You don't want to cause deformity or these kind of things. So most of these herbs can be toxic stuff, right? So that's about this. And then we mentioned the combination of herbs, 7 emotions. We also call that 7 emotions. But the first one is single use, just one herb. And then we mentioned the mutual reinforcement. That's a word, right? In Chinese, we call that 相续. That means what? 2 herbs with similar function, when they are used together, that function gets even stronger. Then we have 相识, which means one herb is the main one. These 2 herbs, another one is less important, but they have common points in function. So when they are used together, actually, the function, the common function of these 2 will get stronger. Or we mentioned like Huangqi and Fulin, remember that astragalus rule for difficulty for like oliguria due to qi deficiency. You need to tonify qi, that's the rule. But by inducing diuresis, it helps the helps the function of Huangqi. They have the same goal. See? Then we mentioned 香味 and 香砂. 香味香砂 refer to the same pair of herbs. When we say 半夏 has toxicity, but 半夏, the toxicity of 半夏 can be reduced by fresh ginger, 生姜. We say what? 半夏 is afraid of 生姜, and 生姜 can kill 半夏, more like that, the same thing. And then we mentioned the mutual opposition, we call that 香味. 香味 means what? When 2 herbs are used together, one herb can reduce the therapeutic effects of another one. A good example of this is like ginseng and radish seed. Ginseng is a qi tonic, right? Radish seed function to drain qi. So it's more like you pump in the air from this side, but you have a hole on the other side, you see? So the air in the tire just go out. So that's called mutual opposition. And then we have the mutual antagonism, which means when 2 herbs are being used together, they can generate what? New toxic effects. And actually, in the 18 and 19 pair of herbs, 18 antagonistic herbs, and 19, many of them are these 2. So we review this part a little bit because these are very important general information. As for how to cook herbs, remember the pot. And also, some special herbs need to be cooked early or later, or some herbs cannot be cooked. For example, like ajiao, the gel, prepared for the donkey skin. We say you just need to melt that in hot water and then take that together with the decoction. We also have a herb from clay. Use the clay as a butter of the oven in the rural area. That clay, if you boil that together, the whole decoction can be very turbid. It's hard to drink. So mostly we still need to wrap the herb and remove that. And some small things, you may want to wrap that too. If you have, if you boil them together, the small stuff left in the decoction can irritate the throat or the stomach to cause nausea, vomiting, and so on. See? So these are the general introduction part. Now let's move to the individual herbs in different groups. The first group, of course, are the herbs that can relieve bacterial pattern. These herbs should be mainly used for ectopathy. And what is ectopathy? Ectopathy are the conditions caused by invasion of exogenous pathogens. Exogenous pathogens attack the superficial part of the body first, right? So these herbs must be able to relieve ectopathy. By doing what? They can relieve the ectopathy. In Chinese medicine, when pathogens are in the superficial part, we need to disperse the pathogen. Why you don't drain the pathogen? We don't want to introduce pathogen to go deeper. You need to take the shortest cut to eliminate the pathogen. This is a basic principle. So Zhang Zhongjing has a statement like if you have edema in the upper part, promoting sweating. If it's in the lower part, you need to induce diuresis. And the same thing, the shortest way to eliminate the pathogen. So this, they can disperse pathogen. And when they disperse pathogen, for some herbs we specially address, they can promote sweating to disperse pathogen. Promoting sweating also means more like open the sweat pores so that the pathogen can go out. But that's only one part. It's the space in the superficial part. In Chinese medicine, we mention two things. One is the sweat pore, that's a space. Another one is what? We call what? That's the space along the different parts of the skin, or the space between muscles. We call that Zou Li in Chinese. Li means when you look at the skin, there is line. You see? And Zou means the space between muscle. Li means more like the lines of the skin. That's small space. Pathogen may stay in this place. So these herbs must be pungent, to be able to do that. And pungent, depending on the nature of the pathogen, sometimes we need pungent and warm herbs for when cold invasion. And if it's when heat, we need pungent and cool herbs, right? It's very easy to understand. But pungent taste actually is a kind of, mostly it's that the active ingredients for many herbs in this group are more like volatile oil. That kind of volatile oil. And this oil is very easy to evaporize. Or when you cook herbs, they can disappear if you cook too long time. So for most of the formulas used to relieve ectopathies, you don't want to cook the herb for too long. But for tonic formulas, you can cook longer for sure. You want to get more tonic stuff out. You see? And that's the general idea. As for here, we mentioned contraindications. Now, these herbs, when they promote sweating, actually, sweating depends on what? What is sweat in Chinese medicine? Sweating, the sweat is from what? Yang qi, steaming body fluid. The yang qi of the body steam body fluid to produce sweat. So, if you want to promote sweating, you got to think if yang qi of the body is strong enough, or if the influence of the body is strong enough, right? If they are not strong enough, on one hand, you may not be able to expel the pathogen. On the other hand, you may overconsume yang qi or influence, then there could be all kinds of complications secondary to the treatment. Shanghai Lun discussed a lot what may happen if you oversweat the patient, damaging yang qi, you may have palpitation, and so on. You see? Because the heart yang is consumed too much. Heart is related to what? Its secretions. Sweat. See? So actually not only in fluid, yang deficiency patient, you got to be careful when you promote sweating too, right? Now let's talk about the herbs that can relieve bacterial pathogen due to wind cold. And these herbs are mostly pungent and warm, so you can also call the herb that can relieve bacterial pathogen with a pungent taste and warm nature. And of course, because these herbs are pungent and warm, they are mainly used for what? For exterior pattern due to invasion of wind cold. And when there is wind cold invasion on the superficial part, first of all, we still have fever and chills. Fever and chills is a very typical manifestation of the exterior pattern, right? Fever comes from what? It comes from the fight between vital qi or defensive qi and pathogen. Chills is a result of disturbance of the normal functioning of defensive qi. Pathogen is here, it disturbs the warming function of defensive qi, so you also feel cold. And when there is wind cold invasion, patient may have more like body ache because cold stagnance, right? When they attack the superficial part, in Shanghai Lun, we talk about the Taiyang meridian the most, because Taiyang meridian is the fence in the body. You see in the back part, the back belongs to yang. The blood meridian, starts here, going backward, and we have two lines on each side, right? So that actually can tell you when cold invades into Taiyang meridian, they tend to block. Then you could have more stiffness, pain, and so on. And if the cold stagnates badly, you may not have sweating. And the lung qi cannot go out, you may also feel difficult a little bit in breath. And the pulse for wind cold exterior pattern should be more like floating and tight if there is more cold. Zhang Zhongjing also talk about more wind, right? But this is a general idea. And according to Shanghai Lun, of course, Taiyang meridian is a meridian of the bladder. So many herbs in this group, in meridian tropism, enters bladder. But if you forget, Shanghai Lun just think about exterior pattern. The lung is related to skin in tissues, right? The lung qi disperses, distributes like qi, defensive qi and body fluid to the surface. So the lung is involved too. So in meridian tropism, these are the two meridians involved. And in case of property, this group of herbs should be pungent and warm, See, that's a general idea. So they are used for wind cold invasion. Now let's come to the first herb. It's called Ma Huang. You read after me first. You two don't have to follow me, but they need to practice the pronunciation, okay? Ma Huang Ma Huang Ma Huang is a Chinese name. The Latin name is herba ephedra. That's a Latin name. It's right here. You see, and Ma Huang is so named because of the color. When you look at the herb, you know why it's called yellow. It's yellow greenish in color. Yellow greenish in color, and Ma, like hemp, is also called Ma. HEMP. In Chinese, that's also called Ma, but it's not the same plant. Ma Huang is a grass with more like results going in clusters outward. Its lower part is woody. The root is woody. Upper part is more like grass-like, or it's called herbaceous, something like that. Anyway, it's not woody. You know what I mean, like grass. And Ma Huang also has many small joints. The rhizome of Ma Huang has joints, and the rhizome is hollow. So that can tell us what? In all the material medical book in the history, there is a very interesting statement for Ma Huang. The main place of production of Ma Huang is in a county close to Zhengzhou, in central part of China. And in that place, there is a very strange phenomenon. It's in the northern part of China, in winter we got snow, right? But the place where Ma Huang grows, even all other areas are covered with snow. That area, snow, doesn't exist. So this is a statement in all the material medical book. That can tell you what? You can imagine, like the ground is more like the skin of the human body. The snow is more like wind cold invasion there, right? And where Ma Huang is, the snow doesn't exist. That means it can relieve the wind cold in the exterior part. That's number one. Number two is what? Ma Huang has joints. You know, all the rhizomes with holes inside, actually, and it grows like this. It grows. We show the picture. You know, it grows like this. And it has joints. This means what? Actually, its qi goes this way, right? Its qi goes this way. And the holes in the rhizome actually is also the passageway for qi to go through. All the rhizomes with holes, you know, can help qi to move there. That's the rule in the history. The joints are what? Joints are more like the parts that can stop the movement, right? Right? Joint stop the movement. So traditionally, when we use Ma Huang to promote sweating, if you read Shanghai Lun, Zhang Zhongqing always tell you need to remove the joints so that it can promote sweating. Another point here is what? You know, when you use Ma Huang to promote sweating on a patient, you may worry it's too strong, and if it's too strong, you know, patient can sweat too much. You worry about that. Say what you should do first. Zhang Zhongqing mentioned that you need to boil Ma Huang first, and then until there is folds on the surface, then you add more earth. That means what? It's more like Ma Huang has been used once. And the folds on the surface is more like Ma Huang has helped the patient sweat. So its strength will be less. See, that's a note Zhang Zhongqing made when he talks about the application of this formula. So we need to understand all of this. And according to modern research, Ma Huang can actually accelerate heart beats, and so sometimes if the dosage is too large, patient can feel like fidgeting and so on. And also the by active ingredients inside, your FDA worries that people use that to make drugs. That's why 25 years ago, FDA actually, a lot of discussion around that time, because there is a formula people use to lose weight, 防风通圣散, there is Ma Huang inside. And so many people take that, but at the same time, some people, I think, start to get the drug from this like the herb too. So basically, they don't allow like importation of the raw Ma Huang. They stop that, and after a long time discussion, actually the final conclusion is that you can still use Ma Huang if they are in the traditional formulas, but now why imports Ma Huang? So actually we don't have Ma Huang to use now. You see? So that's all the stories mentioned there. In taste and practice, Ma Huang is pungent for sure. Ma Huang is also warm for sure. But Ma Huang at the same time is also a little bit bitter. So you just know that that's a general thing first. In functions, number one, Ma Huang must be able to relieve extrahepatic or disperse cold to relieve extrahepatic. You can also say it can promote sweating to disperse cold and relieve extrahepatic. Or more like here. And just start again. And actually, in Shanghai Lun, Zhang Longning created so many formulas for cold attack in Taiyang disease. Or the risk means coordination, but the cold is the major one. So patient has the manifestation like headache, fever and chills, body ache, not sweating. This is a very important manifestation. And what? A little bit slightly dyspnea. Slight dyspnea. This comes from what? The lung is related to the skin, right? When the cold attacks, they block here. Then lung qi cannot go out. The dispersing movement of lung qi doesn't stop here. It needs to go out. Go out through what? Through more like the sweat pores and so on the surface. So sweat pore in Chinese medicine has a function of breathing. Or it's also called just let out the lung qi actually. See? For example, in the summer, when it's getting so hot, if you use a kind of plastic paper, seal your whole body, you will feel very, very difficult to breathe. You see? That is the reason for this. And the pulse floating tight. So that's a typical manifestation for cold attack of Taiyang disease. And when this happens, you need to disperse the cold by promoting sweating, right? That's a basic treatment. But lung qi is affected too. You feel some kind of difficult breathing. Here you can also say you need to help lung qi to open, something like that. As a formula, Zhang Rongjing created is Ma Huang Tang. Here, this block, Ma Huang Tang. Ma Huang is a main herb. And Ma Huang Tang, we don't use, we don't only use Ma Huang. Actually, it's used together with Gui Zhi. Gui Zhi is the second herb. It also, it's also pounded on the wall, so they have similar function. But Ma Huang is much more stronger in promoting sweating. When they are used together, it's even stronger for this. And there is also Xingren, apricot kernel. Xingren is bitter, it helps lung qi to go downward. But these two help qi to go this way. Xingren helps qi to go this way. Actually, this can also regulate lung qi's movement. Lung qi can both disperse and descend, right? So that's why, that's Ma Huang Tang. And there are many formulas there. We also have a formula called Sanao Tang. We can remove Gui Zhi, we just have Ma Huang Xingren Gai Cao. That's for patient if the exhale pattern is less stronger, but patient feel more difficult breathing. You need to work on the lung qi more and so on. So we understand the role of Ma Huang is the main herb, is the strongest one in dispersing cold to relieve the exhale pattern. That's the first function. We just have that in the mind. The second function, Ma Huang can also actually relieve asthma or cough. But actually, the most important part is this, and the most, also in the textbook, sometimes they mention cough. Its main function is to treat. You can call that asthma, but my understanding is more dyspnea or breathlessness. Lung qi cannot go out, you feel so difficult to breathe. Patient with that may not have cough. For example, if a child has pneumonia, when pneumonia happens, it can be very difficult to breathe, but you don't have to cough, actually. Why we also mention asthma, the interesting thing is that the difficult breathing, asthma patient has difficult breathing too, only that asthma patient has that wheezing sound, right? Wheezing sound. And Ma Huang definitely has ingredients that can treat asthma. In 30s last century, one professor from Beijing returned from here back to China last 30s last century. Around that time, no very effective treatment for asthma yet. So he thought in China medicine we have been using like Ma Huang in Xiaoqing Long Tang. Xiaoqing Long Tang, the symptoms are totally a real case of asthma patient. So there must be, something in this herb. Finally, he worked out. I'm not sure this Ma Huang Su in Chinese. Maybe it's this, or there is ephedrine, something like that. And many words, in terms in the hospital, when patients with asthma came, we still gave Ma Huang Su to help relieve the asthma. In the emergency room, So So 麻黄 definitely can treat asthma, but if you analyze the condition 麻黄 treat in Chinese medicine, your 麻黄its strength is more like helping lung qi to go out. See that? And when there is more like cold and so stagnating here, lung qi cannot go out. The main manifestation of this should be more difficult breathing instead of asthma. You can feel very your breathless, but that may not be a real case of asthma. You see, but in Chinese medicine, you are maybe think about how ma huang works. We need to remember this because it's pungent, it's warm, it helps things move out. So it can help lung qi to go out, facilitate outward flow of lung qi. That's a key point. You understand? And to relieve difficult breathing, as well as asthma. Here there are two cases we mentioned a little bit. Not only asthma. One case is a very important formula called 麻杏石甘汤. 花二桑类, 麻黄, apricot, kernel, 杏仁, gypsum, and licorice. 麻杏石甘汤 is a formula for what? You are in Shanghai. This is a lung here. You are the cold attack the surface first. Then, it's not relieved. Pathogen goes into the lung, right? When it goes into the lung, they turn into heat, and they block in the lung, or we call that stagnation or accumulation of heat in the lung. But the heat, the pathogen is from outward. It's coming in this way. Actually, it turns into heat, so patient could have high fever. And the patient also have what? Very difficult breathing, or breathlessness. You feel so difficult to breathe, but you don't have asthma, you are not coughing. So these two are the two major manifestations. And say we use 麻杏石甘汤. We use 麻黄 not for asthma, it's more for this, more to open this place. You see? But the pathogen has turned into heat. That's why we use gypsum. 石膏, gypsum. Gypsum is very cold, but gypsum is pungent. So it helps 麻黄. On one hand, it clears heat. On the other hand, it opens the lung qi too. 杏仁 helps lung qi to go downward. You still need to regulate lung qi. That's 麻杏石甘汤. 麻杏石甘汤, like in children with pneumonia and so on, this is the most effective formula. But here, it may not be asthma. It's more just difficult breathing because lung qi open. The 麻黄 is good at opening lung qi, See? And another formula, also from Shanghai Rui, is 小青龙汤. 小青龙汤 is a formula for what? There is like cold attack in the surface, but the patient originally has some water retention in the middle jaw. When the pathogen attacks the surface, the pathogen may trigger the retained water to go up to the lung, and also to the airway. Then you will say what? When this goes up, this way, block in the airways, that could be asthma. But this movement also cause trouble. What? For the descending movement of lung qi, patient also have cough, right? Of course. And on the superficial part, you may still have the cold. This is more the typical case for patient with asthma attack due to like allergies or like sports induced asthma. And you can see the flag is clear in this case. So in treatment, on one hand, you need to disperse the cold. The pathogenic cold is here, so you still use 麻黄桂枝. There is 白芍 also. On the other hand, there is water from here, so you need like 半夏. But 半夏 is the #1 herb for phlegm, for that phlegm mainly. But you got to think, why there is water retention? You see a lot of asthma patients, cold cough is because the yang qi in this part is weak. It cannot, the spleen stomach cannot transport water dampness in time, right? So you got to consider the yang part. That's why in this formula, Zhang Longjing also use like dry ginger. And apart from this, very often, because there is yang deficiency original, and most patients with this condition, they have a very chronic course, right? Even even there is not acute attack, they see this. So when you have to use 麻黄 and 桂枝 together to promote sweating, you may worry if yang qi can be overconsumed, right? Yang qi can be overconsumed. Then you need to use what? Astringent herbs. Like what? In this formula, there is also Wu Wei Si, the 5-taste seed is a astringent herb. You see? And some formulas for patients with cough for a long time, very often we use astringent herbs at the same time. Not only Wu Wei Si, that also include like the black mule, wu mei, and some this kind of herbs. That's 小青龙汤. 小青龙汤 is a typical formula we use for the cold type of asthma attack. Cold type of asthma attack. The heat type is more like what? You have infection there, then that trigger the asthma. You see? A lot of heat manifestation. So here, you are for 麻黄, you remember it's still more for the difficult breathing. But 麻黄is already something we use for asthma too, right? We have a break first.